Now, on behalf of the Social Democrats, for 3.5 minutes, Mr. Swoboda, go ahead.
Well, colleagues, first of all, I want to thank the rapporteurs, because the rapporteurs make it very clear how important is a European strategy. And it's not useful to have the French and the Italians and the other targeted. We need a strong European strategy. That is what the rapporteurs say, and that's very, very important. But the question really is this strategy embedded into a long-term vision about Europe? Yes, Commission President, we have some improvement on the growth level. But still there are many people in Europe who think inflation is the big problem. Deflation may be a big problem very soon, and if the ECB can be criticized, then perhaps that they underestimate, as the Commission does, the deflation in Europe. Mass employment is still here, and especially also for the younger generation. And here is the one point I agree with President Barroso, because I see that many member countries do not use the money delivered by the European Parliament and the Council in a pragmatic agreement for the youth guarantee. This is important to invest and to go there. But still, unemployment is much too high in most of the countries. But it's not only unemployment, it's also the social issues. The social issues will have to be on the agenda. Poverty, child poverty and health risk. Now the Commission President and the Vice President don't listen, and I can understand that they don't listen, because they don't want to listen, Mr. Rehn, that nearly 30% of children are at risk of poverty or social exclusion. Do you know that the more you do against that? With your policy you will not fight against child poverty. Infant mortality in Greece, Mr. Minister, infant mortality has increased 43%. This is not only a result of the crisis, but also of the crisis policy of the European Union to raise infant mortality, which is catastrophic in the European Union. This is what we should talk about. You are right, President Barroso, it would be dishonest not to speak about the progress, but it would be at least equally dishonest not to speak about the social problem created by the austerity policy we have in Europe today. Now, the G20 said additional 2% growth annually. How should that come with these kind of policies we have? We would need much more investment to have at least 2% additional growth in Europe or worldwide. For example, in education. The Minister spoke about education, the meeting of the Education Minister. But do you know, Minister, sorry to say that, it's not your personal responsibility, and does the Commission know that at least in 20 EU member states education expenditure today is less than it was before as percentage of GDP. In 20 member states education expenditure is less as percentage of GDP. And you want to speak about growth? If you don't spend more in education, in science and research, we will not get more growth. This is what is existing in Europe today, and I don't know what your strategy is about. So let me come to the conclusion, because I think what we heard today is not up to the necessities what we should do in Europe today. And it's nice words, but we need action. We need action in the sense of growth policy by investment, within action for employment, including action from the European budget. I agree with that point. And we need also action concerning the fight against poverty. I know, Mr. Barroso, you fought for the poverty inclusion in EU 2020. But now we have to fight not only for the inclusion in the words, but inclusion in the deeds. A strong fight against poverty, especially child poverty, and against youth unemployment, that are the things we have to do, but here we lack clear action from the Commission and from the Council. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, Hannes. A blue card has been submitted. Our colleague, Mr. Rubik, has a question. Would you like to accept that? Yes, Mr. Rubik, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Thank you, President.
Can I ask